in McClure Live. I was talking to a dear friend of mine the other day, whatever, and we were talking about why sometimes I feel obligated to go live all the time. And I think my whole life I've been a very social person, and even though you meet some wretched people in bars, sometimes it was better than being alone. But I'm gonna talk about some unity here. I want to talk about unity, and a good friend of mine, Steve Lipscomb, always is posting on my stuff. And I want you to know, my friend, that I will never, ever respond to anything that you put, and you can put whatever you want, you can say whatever you want, and you'll always be my friend. I want you to know that. I remember when you first moved to Topeka, I helped your son and his fiance get a place to live. I think I even sold you a refrigerator in a house that I was remodeling. I think I put you in a house that I owned at the time. And also, too, I want to thank you. I do want to thank you when you were the dean at the cathedral. Like during my recovery, I liked having I did my own AA meeting for a couple of years. It was, or maybe a year and a half, let's say. It was a Wednesday at 5 o'clock. I actually started it for a friend of mine so she would not go to the bar at 5. Hey, this was the happy hour. And the people of AA didn't really like the way I did it because I just wanted to talk. If you wanted to read something or you wanted to, go through the gyrations of AA the way they do it, it was optional. I just want, hey, where are we today? Where are you today? What's going on? We talked to one guy, and he ended up going down to the emergency room and checking in. It wasn't as much as his mental illness, but he had some physical illness that he needed to address at that moment. So, Steve, just lighten up. You're not going to change me. What was really disappointing in the Episcopal Church? What was really disappointing to me in the Episcopal Church, when our bishop is addressing Trump and talking down to him. That's not her place. She had a moment to try to talk godly to her and spiritually to him, She had an opportunity to speak the word. I think the Episcopal Church sometimes is too liberal in certain things. The bishop on Christmas Eve gave me communion, and it was a wild moment. And I just love her. She's a nice lady. I'm going to miss her. But the host cracked in my hand, and she goes, God did that. It was a moment. And I thought, at that very moment, I'm serious, I thought about the bishop talking down to Donald J. Trump. You guys, he's our president. You think he runs things? There's a level over him. The naivete. It's like the lead heads here in Topeka. We're going to drink lead water and we're going to have potholes until the people come up. But Steve, I just think there'd be a better use of your time as a friend than trying to be political. You know, I was in on the deal over there when Ian had to sell his house. There's a lot of things people could say about things that maybe sometimes it's better left unsaid. I know that sometimes I'm very hypocritical because, like right now, I don't want Kevin Cook to get into office again. And I pray that Spencer doesn't move up. If he wants to be our mayor, well, that's great. But I don't know, but I'm going to support Spencer between now and then. But I'm trying to tune some of this negative out. And you know what? I find that I've got so much more time to put real estate deals together instead of grousing over things that I can't change. It reminds me of the Serenity Prayer, which is a pretty good one. But hey, you know what you need, Steve, is a good sound bath. You should go over to the Echoes of Healing sound bath events. So here's a morning or bedtime routine she gave us this the other day. It's like our homework. Light stretching, such as yoga or Pilates. Take a walk in nature. And get outside for 15 minutes per day. Breathe in frankincense. This is an interesting one. I kind of want to know more about this. Or another favorite essential oil. Rub it to your hands and take 10 deep breaths. Drink something warm, such as hot tea. Recite affirmations or prayers. Maybe you could just silently pray for what you want to do with the society. You are a priest. Visualize your healing as if it has already happened. Read or journal and write a gratitude list. Listen to your bio-natural beats or solfeggio frequencies. Okay, I gotta look a little bit of this up. But I'm telling you, the sound bath thing is working for me. I'm actually playing the sound bath vibrations out in my lobby, and it's soothing. It's setting a whole different tone here in the Glass Houses studio. I think that we all have shortcomings. But what are we doing? What are we doing to help? Sometimes I think the best thing for me is just to be quiet and mind my own business. But I got a lot of work to do. I'll tell you one thing that this is the Henry I want to find. The state champion gymnast that lives within here. That stretch. I was reflecting on some of my antics of high school, and I had such a wide range of friends. And I was really lucky for all the friends I've had and that I have today. And Steve, having a liberal priest as a friend, that's important to me. And so as I let your comments go off into the oblivion, I want to remember the good things about making the Robin Room available for meetings and having a key to the church, the code to the church, and You're a good friend of mine, and why don't we just try to grasp onto that and not worry about who you voted for, or politics, or stuff like that. And so what you have to do with certain friends and relationships or certain things. It's what I used to do. I didn't want Bianca to be, for a lack of a better word, a whiny little bitch. You know, I'm Mr. Mom, and I got to raise my daughter. So we turned in losing the balloon into a game. Because I didn't want her to cry, like, oh, I lost my balloon, you know. So I've had a mental exercise, what I've done all the time, you know, when there's something. So I'm taking the negative comments that you make and maybe some of the things that have aggravated me is just, and I'm putting them in a balloon, man, and I'm letting them go to the universe. But having the new mental health of what we listen to and what we see, you know, I look at the stuff that's going on, and I believe all this fraud, waste, and abuse is real in Minnesota. And you guys are naive if you don't think some of it's going on right here. But I'm going to do my best. The only way to fight fire is with fire. If nobody's told you they love you, know that I love you. Good night.